2010. Michigan's population is 9,883,640. Sadly, Michigan lost 6% of its population since the previous 2000 census. This was the first decline in population recorded by the U.S. Census Bureau. The January and February snowfall was relentless, but that didn't stop ministry from happening. The Children's Quest program and the Sing Sign Step team traveled to other churches to minister. In April, FBC teens and their friends returned to Burlington, Mississippi on a second mission trip to help with the community's loss from hurricane damage. In June, after a 5-year hiatus, FBC put together a team to enter the HarborFest Dragon Boat Contest, placing third. In July, over 2,300 hot dogs were passed out at the annual Celebrate Freedom event prior to the fireworks on Lakes display. In October, FBC hosted the Allen family during the morning and evening services. And of course, Pumpkin Fest had another record turnout from the local community. As the year was ending, FBC Youth presented a Christmas program, The Miracle on 76th Street, a story of birth of Christ set in the year 2010. 2011, in the spring, some of the FBC youth again gave up their spring break to go to Bluefield, Virginia on a mission trip. There were still projects to be done on the rock, such as painting of the gym walls and putting down a new rubberized floor. 2012, the gym painting and flooring was completed that was started the previous year. Work days continued on the rock, including finishing touches that needed to be done. In the national news, General Motors recorded record profits, which was a big turnaround from just a few years ago. In December, the nation was plunged into shock when a mass shooting took place at Newtown, Connecticut Sandy Hook Elementary School. 26 people were killed by a 20-year-old shooter. 20 of the victims were children. Also in December, despite the hoopla, the world did not collapse when the Mayan calendar came to an end. 2013. A terrorist attack takes place at the annual Boston Marathon, killing 3 and injuring hundreds. 17 people lost limbs due to the explosion of a pressure cooker-type bomb. Edward Snowden, a government contractor, leaked classified documents concerning mass surveillance by the National Security Agency. He fled prosecution to Europe. He was granted asylum in Russia. In December, South Africa's Nelson Mandela dies at age 95. 2014. A new 2-year, 60-week-long theology class started. The goal was to challenge the class as to why they believe what they believe. The class covered a full range of doctrinal beliefs with multi-perspectives. FBC also put another team, which participated in the local church softball league. It provided an opportunity for people to come out and support their local church team on a warm summer evening. Early in the year, FBC entered a partnership with the Van Buren County Senior Services, who had outgrown their current space in River Terrace Complex. They would occupy the upstairs portion of the rock. The added space allowed for more activities for local senior citizens to gather for food, fellowship, and fun. 2015. The small kitchenette area off the main entrance at FBC was remodeled into the Mission Cafe. All funds from Sunday breakfast items brought in by FBC members will be put towards mission-related efforts. In April, FBC sent a team to Haiti to build a bottle house for a local pastor. The trip exposed some of our teens to third world living. The team participated in multiple Easter services and a Bible conference. And, as in past years, summer camp fundraisers took place to assist with financial costs. The first group that started the 2-year-long theology class completed the course. Many hours of discussion and enlightenment will be remembered. After weeks of planning, preparation, and volunteer recruitment, Pumpkin Fest had another overwhelming turnout. Many hands make light work. In national news, the U.S. Supreme Court determined that same-sex couples have the constitutional right to marry. 2016. Additional members of FBC joined a second 60-week theology class. As winter was transitioning into spring, what better way to celebrate than with the annual Senior Citizens Prom? Those attending were served a great meal by the youth. After dessert, everyone cut the rug by dancing to the oldies. It's been a difficult year as membership and attendance appear to be shrinking. Some changes were due to people moving out of the area, some were caused by death, some chose to attend a different church, and some just stopped attending services altogether. During the summer, the annual hot dog giveaway still takes place. This is a time for FBC participants to gather for a common purpose, to reach out to the community around them so that they could know the freedom they can have in Christ. In December, FBC is honored to host a holiday concert by recording artist Kathy Tricoli. She and her accompanist came down from Grand Rapids to a packed house at FBC. A free will offering was collected and given to Ms. Tricoli for her uplifting program. 2017. Donald Trump is inaugurated as the 45th President of the United States. FBC mourns the loss of one of its patriarchs, Edward Bocock, who was one of its founding elders. His wisdom and love will be sorely missed. In national and world news, a mass shooting takes place at a music festival in Las Vegas where 60 people are killed. Tensions rose between North Korea and the United Nations as North Korea began tests on a hydrogen bomb. Back home, a second class of the 60-week theology course graduates. This has been a major achievement for FBC members. 2018. FBC continues to try and understand the decline in attendance for church services and programs. In many parts of the nation, this seems to be a common problem. Nevertheless, ministry continues to take place where resources and participants are available. 2019. The elder ministry team set up watch care groups. The goal was to seek out those that hadn't participated in worship services for a few weeks to see if everything was okay with them. What a better way to break up the winter than with a trivia mission fundraising event. Along with prizes from community businesses, people were encouraged to bring friends and lots of food. This was an excellent turnout. Everyone enjoyed fun, food, and fellowship as funds were raised for future mission trips. Throughout the year, FBC carried out their annual community events, Celebrate Freedom and Pumpkin Fest. In national news at the end of the year, Vice President Pence announced the creation of the United States Space Force. President Trump is impeached by the House of Representatives for his abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. It is up to the U.S. Senate to determine if this is a valid charge. In world news, in Wuhan, China, an outbreak of a flu-like illness is sweeping the region and killing many that contract it. It will shortly be called COVID-19. FBC decides to hold Sunday services up in the plaza in the Rock to give a cozier experience during the winter months. During January winter, President Trump is acquitted by the U.S. Senate in his impeachment trial. In March, because of the mass spreading of COVID-19, it has now been labeled as a pandemic. Following recommendations from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, our Michigan governor mandates a state health emergency to suspend all group gatherings, including restaurants, nightclubs, schools, churches, and other gatherings. Going into the public was only allowed for essential reasons, such as groceries, doctor and hospital visits, and essential trips. Public stores were to enforce the wearing of face masks for employees and shoppers. FBC was forced to switch to recording the pastor's weekly message, which was then made available through our Facebook page, our website, and our YouTube channel. In national news, along with daily updates on the COVID-19 stats, a video was posted of a police officer kneeling on a black man's back and neck for 9.5 minutes, resulting in his death. Sparks of protest spread across the U.S. and the world. The captured man's name was George Floyd. Initial response to the growing spread of COVID-19 virus caused many hospitals to exceed their capacity to handle patients with critical, life-threatening respiratory issues. At FBC, group meetings and other gatherings were done via Zoom. The elder meetings took on a whole new aspect of trying to carry on church business and handle the problems of the pandemic on its membership. It was decided that FBC should continue to make its Sunday services available on the internet even after the pandemic. As warmer weather progressed and COVID-19 cases seemed to be subsiding, outdoor gatherings were permitted. We were introduced to a new term, social distancing, and face masks were to be employed. Halfway through the summer, FBC started doing outdoor services in its parking lot as the weather permitted. As the fall months soon came, the services again were curtailed. In September, due to reduced daily cases being reported, small gatherings were allowed. Many older, more vulnerable people still shied away from bigger gatherings. As these groups were allowed, FBC again started meeting in person on Sunday mornings, requiring face masks and social distancing. However, in a few weeks, the reported cases of COVID spiked and the permission of gatherings was pulled back again. This on-again, off-again policy frustrated many throughout the United States. Because of the pandemic restrictions, there would be no hot dog giveaway in the park, no fireworks, no summer festivals, parades, or Pumpkin Fest this year. Come November, FBC would not be able to celebrate its 150th anniversary in the manner that you might think. Through continued video recorded messages, FBC still continues to spread the gospel message to those who tune in, carrying out its mission as from the beginning, to spread hope to community and world around the place called South Haven First Baptist Church.